Not the prettiest game for the Packers in this one, but they come away with a road win. This is your Packers offensive breakdown against the Rams. All right, starting out with play number one, we're going to focus on the offensive line here on the right side. Just a great defensive setup here by the Rams. They just run a stunt, and they're able to cross the face of Myers. And O-line was having some issues with this front four of the Rams. They've been drafting well the last couple years. We've got two rookies on this defensive line, Jared Verse and Braden Fisk, and they've both been playing well. Next play, I'm kind of happy that Jordan Love is back. You can see him putting his hands on his head right here, and all the receivers doing the same thing. He's canning the play. He's changing the play right now, so changing it from the first play call to the second based on what he's seeing. All right, so we'll see what he does here. And it's just going to be a simple handoff. So I think the reason why he's changing this is just looking at the coverage. Right, it's a pretty light box. You've got two high safeties. You've got the backers that are pretty far off. So this is a smart decision just to can it and get some easy yards. So it's not the most impressive play, but we'll see this a few times throughout the film that he's been changing the play, canning to a second play, and it's worked out well for the Packers. So good recognition there by Love. One of the things that I pointed out in my preview is making these backers move from sideline to sideline. So trying to get those outside runs. And of course, LaFleur is going to get creative here, bring Reed into motion. And then he's going to have Jacobs as a lead blocker there. Incredible block. Rashid with a great block downfield. We'll watch it from the end zone angle as well. But these backers aren't the fastest, right? So this outside run with motion forces them to slide, puts them a little bit out of position, and makes it easier for the offensive line to reach them, right? So that little shift, right, before they slide back, right, he's shifting a full yard, 2 yards, and then he's only able to get back 1 yard, and that's going to make it easier for Jenkins to get a hand on him, slows him down, which sets up Jacobs for a block, and Walker's able to get out front and be a lead blocker as well. So all these little motions are just helping support the offense, helping making what they want to do easier, and it's pretty evident on a play like this. Next play is another one of those cans where Love is going to change the play, and it's almost a delay of game. You can see everyone touching their helmet. He's supposed to motion. Kraft isn't paying attention until he calls his name, right? This is right as the clock is hitting 0. They get the snap off. Surprised that the refs didn't call it delay a game. And you're going to get some good blocks downfield by Sims. All right, so we'll see Sims get up to the next level here and then get a pancake block, which is pretty solid for a tight end. Gonna have that motion over. And probably could have been a false start as well. And find a nice crease. I think you've got Kraft and Ryan blocking the same person. Probably not how they intended. But Sims getting that nice block on the second level. So he sees that Walker has the leverage, bumps into him, scrapes off, gets to this backer, and it creates a seam. So well done by Sims there. All right, next play. This ball should not be thrown. I don't know how this ends up being a catch. But if we're just looking at the options, we'll go back in a little bit. Jaden Reed just makes an incredible catch here. But we'll go back to the beginning of the play. That way we can see what we're looking at. So we've got pass pro setup. It's a 4-man rush. You've got a little bit of a stunt here with a linebacker that's coming late. So it was originally a 3-man rush, and then you've got the blitzer coming in. But if we're just looking and freezing it here, there's a better option here for a first down, 2nd and 10, right? But instead, he decides to throw it where there's 1, 2, and then a third defender that will be able to make it there by the time the ball arrives. So I'm not sure what he's seeing on this, that he's willing to take a shot, but he's got a guy at the sticks there for a first down, and once he catches that, he's probably got another 7 yards minimum, and if he makes a guy miss, more. So Love constantly trying to be this hero, and it's evident on this. Of course, he gets bailed out a little bit by Reed. You know, good enough ball where only his guys be getting it. I think number 4 overplayed it a little bit. I think he didn't track the ball as well as Reed. Just a great catch by Reed to set the Packers up in scoring position. And this next play, just great effort, second effort by Jacobs. So he's going to get shut down in the middle here, but he's going to bounce it out, going to take that angle towards the pylon, and just get the ball across the line. So gets his first rushing touchdown with the Packers. A lot of effort. That's obviously not the way that the play is drawn up, but he's able to get in for a rushing touchdown. Something the Packers receivers have been struggling with lately are a ton of drops, and we're going to see one here on a crucial third down. A good route by Reed, but unfortunately on a third down, 3rd and 1, they're not able to get this to go. So good route out of the slot, and we'll see that here. He's setting up outside leverage, and then he's going to take that hard cut to the inside. Creates just enough separation, but unfortunately takes his eyes off of it. Looks ahead before he reels it in. Turns his eyes away. Right there. So he's not following the ball, and it bounces out once the contact comes. So Reed, Wicks still have some issues in terms of the drops. Probably Wicks more than Reed at the moment, but there's only one successful third down conversion in this game for the Packers. So there are definitely some areas that they can continue to improve. Of course, I was going to pick apart this play. This is the pick 6. Everyone's familiar with it. We've got the motion there, putting Jacobs on the other side. I'll break that down in just a bit, but we'll watch the play first. Gets hit in the back, decides to throw it up. Intercepted for a touchdown. So let's just take it back to the beginning, break it down. Why does that happen? And it's just going to be because of this route, the crosser that comes free at the end, but we'll see that this protection is going to be set up. It's a full slide to the right, right? So Walker's going to be basically sliding to his right. We got this slide to the right from everyone, and that's why he moved Jacobs to the other side, right? So if you've got a full slide over here, right, then your running back is going to move in and take this outside. The problem is they bring pressure, which Love should have recognized at the snap, right? If he knows that he's setting this pass pro where it's a full slide to the right, then he knows that he's going to have a free runner on this backside, right? So if this guy if 0 doesn't drop out, that's a free runner because Jacobs is only going to be able to account for one of those two, right? So he's got to recognize that. He knows that Walker's going to have this full slide to the right, and if he's sliding to the right, he's not going to be able to react to this defensive end. And that's exactly what happens. We're going to see it now. Full slide to the right. You can see entire offensive line moving to the right. Walker too late to get to 56 there, so Jacobs has to pick him up, and that means 0 is a free runner, right? So Jordan Love then decides, because he's reading eyes downfield, he sees that break, he sees the leverage here, right? He knows that's going to be coming open down the field, so he tries to set his feet and throw that across the field. And then as he's doing that, gets pushed in the back, and then desperate to not have a safety, right, just throws it. And unfortunately, Kraft is there as an outlet. And since it's man coverage, that outlet is just there ready for a free interception and a free touchdown. Probably the easiest one that he'll have in his career. Not really the greatest decision there by Love. I can see why he's trying to do that. Right? He's got 2 routes that come open here at the bottom. Cover 2 man, essentially. But makes a mistake, throws the pick, easy touchdown for the Rams. Here we go with LaFleur moving Jaden Reed around. Here we got him in the backfield. I'm just doing a simple angle route. So Jaden Reed continuing to be a big-time player for the Packers. This one's just a simple route out of the backfield, makes it difficult for the Rams to account for him. Get some open space and big yardage for the Packers. So against his zone coverage, Reed's going to do an easy job there, finding the green grass and then getting some yak. So well done by Reed there. Then we've got a breakout game here from Mr. Kraft. And we'll see his big touchdown on this play action. Got zone coverage. 24 gets pulled in a little bit too far. Nice block downfield by Wicks. Stiff arm by Kraft. Right, just getting enough separation. But we're going to see this route by Wicks. Right, it's breaking to the inside. And he's essentially rubbing a little bit here. Right, so he's making some contact because of that route. And 24 bites to the inside. Right, and he overextends, which is going to let that crosser get through. So that crosser gets open. Kraft able to create some separation. Wicks doesn't give up on the play, continues to block downfield. And that's just enough to get Kraft in for the touchdown. So well done by these receivers. And Kraft obviously continues to improve week by week. And definitely looking like one of the better tight ends in the league at the moment. And here we've got Jaden Reed moving around again, this time on a reverse. Got good old Kraft lead block in there, getting some easy yards. So just, again, going back to the outside runs, right? Now you make it even tougher on the linebackers, right? Linebackers have to respect this handoff, right? So they're going to be expecting this handoff. They're going to see that motion in the backfield, but even by that point, it's too late, right? Myers gets a good push on the backer there, and it just makes it complicated for a defense. Eventually gets pushed out by the safety, but if that safety took a, steeper angle and isn't able to get a hand on Reed, this could be going for even more. All right, here we go. We've got Kraft getting that nice screen action. And his effort is just going to get him into the end zone. So, again, we'll just go back to the start. All right, so here he is on the outside. Gets two hands and then gives him a little bit of a shove, right? Trying to keep him outside. So then it gives Love a little bit more time to loft this ball up. Got Myers getting out front. Gets one hand on the linebacker. Not necessarily the greatest block on a screen, but he's able to give Kraft just enough space, and he's going to squeeze in there and get the ball just over the plane for a touchdown. So his second of the game. All right, next play, we're going to have a good check here by Love. All right, so he's going to can here again. You can see hands on the helmet. I'm going to make a change here, and he's going to run a small stick concept. All right, so you've got two outbreaking routes. You've got one stick, which is an outside hitch, essentially, and then it continues versus man to the outside. So they are in man here. And they essentially have 0 here, who's not going to be in man coverage, right? He's lined up as if he's in man coverage, but he's not necessarily going to be there. So the reason why he checks this is because he recognizes this mismatch, and he doesn't think that they're actually going to run man. So if they're running man, then that means it's this matchup, right? So how do we take free yards, right? Let's just run this stick concept, right? So you've got one that's going to be sticking here, but because it's man, right, it's going to be breaking out this way. And then you've got another quick out, right? And this is just going to be an outside release fade to clear out any other defenders, right? So it's going to be very hard for this defender to match up, break on that, and make a play on it. So this is just taking free yards based on the leverage that the defense is giving him. So recognizes it, gets it to Wicks, gets some extra yards, move the sticks, and keep the offense rolling. Not really going to break this one down, but this is a play that breaks down. All right, pocket collapses, get a rush up the middle, forces Love outside. And I think that MCL is going to be fine. Here we go. We've got another adjustment by Love. Let's check out at what we were going to do before. He's just going to change it into a run here. So hands on the helmet. Everyone reacts. All right. And they're essentially probably going to Oscar this. Oscar, they're just changing the side. All right. Because if we look at the defensive front, right, you've got so many guys on the line of scrimmage. Right. But if you decide to run this to the right, you've got a little bit more. Right. So you've got more guys on the right side than on the left. So I think they've flipped this at the line of scrimmage. So instead of it going to the right, they go to the left. Right. Nice little cutback lane. Good vision by Jacobs. And he's able to get a ton of yards and a great run. So we'll see it from the end zone angle as well. Of course, you've got a shift. You've got a motion. He sees the leverage here. I think it was intended to go to this right side, but they're going to flip it. And this creates, this zone blocking scheme always creates, if they over pursue, right, creates these cutback lanes. Tom is able to get a block on the second level, and it pushes Jacobs for a larger gain. Of course, I mentioned it earlier. This is just a Wicks issue at the moment. We saw Devontae Adams have an issue in year 2 as well with drops. This is a shot play. It's open. It just goes right through his hands. All right, so he's high pointing it, and it just squeezes right through. You can see him looking at the grass, disappointed after that, but I know it's a tough play. It's one-on-one. You've got to catch it. You got to high point it, but still, that's something that you're a professional in the league. You've got to be able to come down with it. Good ball there, right through the hands, unable to come down with it. That seals the game if he's able to catch it. All right, that's going to be it for this breakdown. Obviously, Reed continues to be great. Tucker Kraft is proving to have this breakout game, solidified his role in this Packers offense. And Love, I think he's shown some positives, some negatives. He needs to stop being a hero, right? Sometimes take what the offense has available instead of forcing it. And, you know, it's a gritty win. A lot of poor third down conversions. But, you know, any win is a win. So even if it's tough, we'll take it. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please subscribe. It helps me a ton. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.